This is Justin Amazon on March 7th, 2018. Take a look at the 5-minute candles on Amazon. I've got the open from yesterday, Tuesday, into the aftermarket session, and then the open this morning into the close of the day. I just want to point out a couple prices in here. So I drew in a new line at the previous yesterday's high in here, and we came right back into that price again. Yesterday's low down here came right back down to the low. That was right around the pre-market highs, and it just was a great illustration of old support, new resistance, broke out of that at the open with a very large candle. With that large of a candle, inside day opening pretty much of yesterday. I mean, it did wick down. There was some selling initially, and then rallied. I mean, you'd have to look at the 1 minute, but I'm pretty sure it sold off pretty quickly, and then it was just bought the remaining maybe 4.5 minutes or something. Pulled back down, still holding the highs in here as that low came right into the moving average I have in here, the 21. Using pre-market data, bounced off of that and went right into the yesterday's highs. Came back down, and some of these candles, just these small candles, could have been a flag. Maybe somebody's looking to get in bullish here, but I mean, with this being a break of, it didn't break. It was right at the same area of yesterday's all-time high, and not the place you want to be buying. You do want to wait for that larger pullback, which is what we got. But had you seen up here, this is a good place to sell. Gotten in on any of these candles, selling at that price, getting back down even to this level, or with this consolidation and rollover. This is phenomenal in here. Seeing the bearish momentum on the squeeze, trading off from reducing the bullish move down into a bearish move, just totally played out. These smaller candles, smaller volume, and actually we can probably zoom in on the day here to see what's going on here. So these candles here, look at that volume just taper off right here. It could have gone either way, honestly. And then this candle breaking below the lows here, that would have been the candle to get in bearish, and then looking for some support to come in, probably at this low here, or the open possibly, or the line that we had drawn in. So any of those being a good place to take all your profits, since with this large bullish candle and being inside, still gapping up from well, not necessarily gapping up from yesterday, but just kind of the moves that it's made being bullish, overall being bullish. But you can still take bearish trades, just be ready to take your profits quickly. So the bouncing here, looking like maybe it could roll over, then some buying came in. This would have been a great candle to get in bullish on, and looking for it to rally back up, or at least just kind of tighten your stop, or keep your stop here, let it move into another doji here, with, let's see, open and the close, 3 cents off between the open and the close. So just barely a bullish candle on pretty low volume, as we're losing the bearish momentum, and then we get a little bit more. The bar turns red on the squeeze, saying, yeah, that was a good break, and that would have been. But then we didn't even come any further down. We didn't even have another candle close below this price. And so you could have gotten an bearish again here off that candle for a very quick move down to here, and then probably after these couple candles came in, maybe would have moved your stop from here down to here, and then gotten stopped out of that candle and would have known, okay, time to go bullish. This candle breaks out above, and then we got a pullback. Actually, this is more of a rising 3 pattern, or falling 3, I don't recall the name, or just a consolidation here. And this time of the day is, central time zone is lunchtime here, and just not much activity for this much time. And then broke out again, came back, retested again. I don't have it drawn on here. I can try and draw it quickly. You know how I've been with these drawings. But looking at the prices here, this kind of a consolidation is what I noticed No, it's going to let me draw again. Maybe. Even connecting this back up with pre-market or with the open candle, you know, just look at the triangle here, this shape, this consolidation over the day, and then again with the squeeze here showing supporting that same consolidation, and the next candle broke out, came back, retested that same breakout point here, and I know I've got the line drawn a little bit skewed, so we'll, you know, maybe you didn't draw it like that, and I don't think I had it drawn. Actually, I was using a different program called TradingView, and I did have it drawn about like that. It broke out. I had an order. I was ready to click send on, but then I had to attend a couple of activities. Came back to it, and I was actually in over here. It retested again, and I was very disappointed I missed it. But I recognized that opportunity to get in bullish on that pullback. I'll show you the options in just a minute, and let's see if this will. No, it doesn't want to move. We'll have to try this in TradingView sometime. Here we go. Okay, so that right here, hitting all these wicks, hitting these candles again. Maybe didn't quite hit that one. Hitting these candles again, consolidating these here. Very similar. Even if you had this down here a little bit more. You know, hitting the low, hitting these wicks, not quite that one, but you know, every time bouncing, and you just got this consolidation right in here, and it's like it has to break. This candle has to break. No, it doesn't. It shows a little bearish candle, and we gap up above that on a 5-minute, almost clearing these resistances. I mean, it's gone, and it could have just rallied up again and sold back down. But either way, it retested once, twice, and then came up right into here. Went sideways, could have trailed up a stop here, and then just broke out. And we made all-time highs up to 1545.90 on the 5-minute, right up into the close. If we switch back over here, looking at these options, the opening, this large candle, you know, you would have had to really been a rock star buying anywhere down here with a wide enough stop. That was not me. Some rolling over, pullback into this moving average. On the option, that would have been this kind of a doji. Maybe would have gotten in on this candle on that breakout. Let's say you got in, maybe you got in at 11.50, or let's call it 11. You had an okay fill. You know, you would have had to have been scalping that because you knew this was resistance. So 11 up to 13.6. I mean, well, that's more than 2R for me. So I mean, that would have been a great trade. Could have gotten in on the bearish. So this was the 1540 call expiring this Friday. This is the 1535 put expiring this Friday. And in here, as this just chopped at that resistance, could have bought anywhere in here. Let's say you got a bad fill and you bought on this candle, just let's call it 11 to be clean, and then you know, with a stop down at 10. Well, maybe not quite. So maybe you had something set up to buy at 10.50 with a stop at 9.50. So there's your dollar risk. Would have rallied up into 13.20, could have taken profits there, or if you had held through this and it rallied up to the previous high, not the open high, the last high of 15.50. You could have taken profits at 15.50 in the option, because we did make a lower low on the stock. We made a slightly higher high from here on the option, and it would have been just a great target price for the option. The rest of the day on the put just tanked, losing all of its premium, and pretty much from that same area in here, the rest of the day on the call just moved up. So here's that breakout on that candle, would have broken out. You could have gotten in there, or knowing there was a pullback, and it was actually, so this just, the option premium was a little bit high after that candle, and that was what I was looking for. And I thought, okay, even after that candle, it didn't pull back down. I had an order to buy at 9.50. It was too far away. I think I didn't even send it into the broker, because then I had to go do a couple other things. And I came back later and saw it somewhere in here, and I had missed this pullback, and that price in the option was 9.30, and I'm pretty sure I would have been filled. And this low here was 9.35. Pretty sure on one of these two candles I would have been filled. These two candles are a retest of this breakout level here. It's sitting right on the 21 moving average. And then we were pretty close. Would have been maybe a 1-to-1 or 1.5 risk. I'm sorry, a 1.5 profit reward on one risk. But with this just kind of grinding higher, and the option being so close to being in the money, could have bought at 9.30 and just let this rally back up into the highs of the option, and this would be where you got out. So the high there is 13.65. The high here on the option was 13.45. Definitely would have been, had I gotten in at 9.50, would have been probably exiting around 12.50, because just with this move, what I was looking for it to make. But that's just, guessing. I mean, I may have taken some profits or taken all of it right at that high on that candle, and that one, that would have been 2R had I gotten filled at 11.50. So all of it is what would have happened, how would have this played out. But the option didn't really make any lower lows, so I don't think I would have been stopped out had I just been trailing my stop from 9.50 by 8.50, brought it up to 9, brought it up to 9.50, brought it up to 10. I don't know that I would have been trailed out in any of these unless you got kind of a wick down, but that didn't really happen. All these are just consolidations going sideways and moving up. So it just continued to follow the I think that's the 5. I don't remember now what I have charted. Sorry, let's switch back to this screen. Yeah, the 5. So I've got the 5 simple moving average and the 21 simple moving average. So those are just what I have on this chart, just to follow a couple things here. And so some great opportunities, both looking at how to play this move bearish from a all-time high resistance, and then looking for some support, some consolidation. Could have bought in this area with some move up. And sometimes on these triangles on Amazon, it puts in a high, and you can't really draw this in yet, but I've drawn these too tight, definitely. I've put these in, and I've had, sorry, let's zoom back in here. So I've drawn these in, and what I've had to learn on Amazon is when I draw something that, it's like this. Okay, that's an aggressive triangle. You don't even, maybe you have the bottom side of it formed here. Most of the time, it just doesn't, most of the time it needs more time. So in this case, you could have drawn this one, and that would have actually worked, but that wasn't the big move. It was a move. Let's see. So if I bring this back out here, I had drawn a triangle similar to this, much wider, pulling in some of the opening to this whole thing. I mean, from this low, we came back up to the midpoint of the triangle and then touched the lows again, or touched the bottom side of the triangle, and then we were really close to the top, and it may be slightly different here. But this area was key, and this was happening into the lunch hour. You got the squeeze going on, and with that squeeze, and I think I forgot to mention, with that squeeze, you anticipate this is going to continue moving some more. I mean, we had a retest here, surprisingly another retest, but it just was so bullish today, pulling back, to this level. So we had the 15.14 prices yesterday. We got the 15.28 price in play today, or wherever that is there, around that amount. And so, we just continue to move up off of that. A couple other things to see. This could have been seen as a head and shoulders with a retest of that neckline with this, that maybe you got in here bearish for looking for that rollover. Could have done that. In the flip side, you kind of have a shoulder here, a head here, a shoulder here, and this would have been somewhat of a wonky angle, but you've got a break of that, a retest, consolidation into a doji, and then it does move higher. So, I mean, again, it's just the patterns, it's just how it moves. So this was an inverted head and shoulder with a retest with this rising 3 pattern, and then just goes. So I'm very interested to see if we have another pullback on the daily. Actually, we'll stay in the daily chart here. So, I mean, we've had such an incredible run. I mean, look at this. Sorry for all the blue lines. We've had this incredible run all the way through this for years in Amazon, and just the way that this is just accelerated. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to slow down anytime soon. we've kind of done a reset with some of these larger candles in here. This is some of the new norm, having some larger moves. And then yesterday and today, just been these small consolidation candles. This one being a bullish engulfing candle. This one, a doji at an all-time high. This was a retest gap that was, the open was clearing these bearish candles at the previous all-time high. This one was actually gapping down, would have looked like a bearish gap and go from that candle. Easily could have said, oh, it's going to go bearish. Then the opening 5-minute candle dismissed any argument to say go bearish there, and we were able to see just from this update selling at that all-time high and waiting. So I've still got some other lines drawn in here on the 5-minute candles, but now we've got 4 days in a row of bullish candles. Be good to look at what the overall market's doing. This at all-time highs, closing pretty close to the all-time high itself. And so the close was 15.45, the high was 15.45.90. And so if there's any chance of catching anything, maybe look at the hourly. And I haven't looked at this yet to see where it's at. But, so here, even back to here, just this incredible move into a previous resistance. Looks like it's pulling back and rolling over, rallies through it, pauses on it, and then we just chopped slightly up that week, broke out, retested this level, the 1468 level here, came up, pulled back a little bit, just like we went from way down here to up here and rolled over a little bit. We went from way down here to up here. It's just fractal, seeing how it moves. Then again, ran up to new all-time high, came back, and now we're rallying up. So there's a lot of bullish candles in here. Pre-market, during the day, there was only one hourly bearish candle. We are at all-time highs again. It would be great if we had another slight pullback. No guarantee it's going to happen. On the hourly, we don't have a squeeze going on here. On the daily, I think, the squeeze is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles into this squeeze. It's possible to get another bullish candle tomorrow, and then I would anticipate a little bit of a rest on Friday. So if we move up some more Thursday, a rest Friday, and it may want to just kind of consolidate up here or pull back a little bit more aggressively. But you're losing on your volume as you're making new all-time highs. The squeeze is about to run its course, so it's time to look to take some profits or tighten up your stops to make sure that you're not going to just lose a lot here. We've had a couple sizable pullbacks. That's sizable. Had a couple key pullbacks since this bounce. Here with 4 candles, here with 3 candles in a row, including the pre-market. I mean, this was overnight the move it made, and then it rallied out of that and pulled back. So if we turned off extended hours, which I think I tried to figure out a quick way to do it. Let's see. Time. No. Price. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this during the video. I thought I was going to do it extended hours. I think it's that one. Apply. Yeah. All right, so extended hours are out of there. We just look at this. We had a squeeze bearish. That played out. We don't have another squeeze bullish. We're losing momentum on the bullish candles, even though we've made an all-time high. Would not be surprised if we came back to the 1514 or 1528 price some more, 1514. Any of these can work as some resistance, but we've broken out of this move even higher. We have this consolidation these last 2 days, phenomenal. And so I'd be really interested to see if it continues to move up, how bullish this market is right now, and see if Amazon's going to play that way. Would not be surprised if it continues higher. So look for those opportunities, look for those consolidations in the 5-minute candles to have some key moves, waiting for breakouts or retests, things like that, like we just looked at on the 5-minute. And so that'll help. It looks like, so with extended hours turned off, we still had the squeeze forming the 5-minute, and then with this candle with high volume breaking out, and then the squeeze didn't really fire consistently like we expected to see, but the rest of the day from here it just rallied up. So look for this kind of stuff to happen. Again, a pullback or consolidation in here. Again, I don't want to necessarily be buying a breakout here. Waiting for a retest at least at 1540 tomorrow to the previous all-time high. That you may get a small pullback here. It'd be great to get a larger pull, maybe a little larger move up, and then a larger pullback to the same price, or even down to 1528. It's incredible the prices we're looking at on Amazon and the moves it's had. So hopefully this is helping. This is Justin Amazon. Thanks.